What's up, guys? Come back to another video. I'm gonna talk about what I would suggest doing before you go get your own authority, and why I would have went to Landstar first, given I knew then what I know now. I'm gonna tell you why. Now, if you want to go get your own authority, if you feel that's something you're ready for, by all means do it. Honestly, I don't know that I'm not even saying that I was ready for it, because a lot of this stuff I'm just learning as I go. I've never in my life had to invoice my own loads, so that was a learning experience. It wasn't nothing to it, but when you first hear I gotta send in an invoice with my company info on it and all that good stuff, I was like, oh shit, but I figured it out. It was pretty easy. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm learning along the way, such as factoring. I set up with Triumph Business Capital basically for the ease of on the dashboard. It's got a little check showing you if they will factor from those people. So I figured that was easy. So I set up a business account with Triumph Business Capital, and they was calling me and bugging the shit out of me, wanting me to factor my loads. And I'm like, yo, I don't need to factor my loads. Everybody that I've got a carrier pack with so far has got 2-day quick pay, and it's anywhere from 1.5% to 2%. And you guys are going to charge me, I think it's 3.9% for non-recourse. So I don't need to factor anything right yet. So what that tells me is a lot of these companies are seeing a lot of money going out to these factoring companies. So they're like, hey, well, there's another way we can make money. Let's factor the loads that we broker. So chances are you might not even need a factoring company. But nonetheless, I got it set up in case I get something I do need to factor. But anyway, like I said, a lot of stuff I'm just learning as I go. I'm not saying I was qualified to get my own authority and start my own carrier. It's something else. I like it. I'm not going to change anything about it. But if I had known then what I know now, this is what I would have done. I would have went to Landstar. And this is why. I'm hauling Landstar loads, and actually, it's been a week or so since I've hauled one. So I've been getting my loads off C.H. Robinson. A lot of people bitch about C.H. Robinson, call it cheap and heavy. But I've been averaging 10 to 20 cents more per mile than the lanes that I'm picking, because I stay consistent with one of the guys over at C.H. Robinson. You know what I'm saying? I call him, he hooks me up. And matter of fact, 2 loads now, I've told him what I'll do a load for, and he's like, all right, let me check back with you. Let me make some phone calls, let me check back with you. And he calls me back and he said, all right, they agreed to that rate, and I got you another $100 on top of that. So it's win-win. The first time I was running the short run, it was $1,400, and I told him, I said, I'll do it for $1,400. I said, that's going to get me back home. He called me back 15 minutes later. He said, all right, I got it, and some more. He said, I got you $1,500. Here's what's cool. I was only asking $1,400, but he threw an extra $100 on it. The load I'm on now, it's paying about 10 cents more than the lane usually pays based off that. And I told him what I'd run it for, and he said, all right, let me call and see if they'll accept it. And he called me back and said, all right, they accepted it plus another $100. He said, I got you a little more on it. So he's just giving extra money. So I'm gonna keep working with the dude because he's hooking me up. I'm keeping him happy, he's keeping me happy. So it's about that connection. But anyway, let's get back on Landstar. I got access to Landstar's load board. All right, and I've also got access to Landstar's. I got access to the carrier side, but I've also got access to the BCO side. And you can sit down. I can log in both of them. Well, me not personally, but I got friends. We can log in both of them, laptops side by side, and compare apples to apples. And the load availability for the BCO far exceeds what I can get my hands on. So that's showing me that I'm getting a lot of, low rate access to some of the agents that don't have good accounts, or some of the brokers that's set up through them without good accounts. So it showed me right there that I think one load search, I had access to 39 loads. And my buddy beside me had right at 300. Now, we was looking at a 300-mile radius, and it was in Oklahoma City when we've done that. Maybe Omaha. I'm losing track of time. But, yeah, it's far different from the carrier side versus the BCO side. And also on the carrier side, it don't show the rates. So I spent a lot of time calling just for somebody to tell me this load's only paying, $1.03 a mile or $1.10 a mile, when the average on that load should be paying $1.20 or $1.30 or $1.40. All right, and then on the BCO side, it's showing you the rates on these runs, and you're talking, they're not showing $1.03, $1.10. You're finding $2.25, $2.30, $2.40, $2.50. So I don't have access to that availability. Now, granted, I can call those agents. I called a few of them, and even had one of them said, "How'd you get my number? I can only deal with BCOs." I said, "Oh, that's cool." I said, "No," I said, "My brother works for Landstar. He's a BCO, so he just gave me your number." And they said, "No, I can't do I can only do with the Landstar BCOs." They said, "Where you're at now?" And she was like, "I've got loads down here and down over there that I could use you for." So either way, I got a good connection there. But going all from scratch to get your own authority without having connections is kind of like rolling the dice, hoping for the best. I went ahead and done it without accounts set up, without connections, knowing that I could find me some connections. Because I had one, hold on just a minute, guys. I had one big factor on my side, and that's my cost of my operation. I want to do a video on that to show you, break down some numbers, and show you why I stress so highly to keep your monthly obligations low. Because that gives me the ability to get away with a lot more than what some other guys can do. But that's another video, maybe the next video. But I didn't have connections. I just came out and I knew what I was going to have to do. I was going to have to network. I was going to have to get me some connections. I was going to have to get me some brokers, and run with the ones that's got good lanes, that's got good rates, that's got shippers, that's got direct customers. Because you want the guys and gals that's got customers. You don't want to deal with some agent that's working for a broker that's trying to outsource a broker load from another broker that has a direct customer. So you got to keep that in mind. A lot of people think brokers are taking a lot of money. I mean, I'm sure there is some shady ones out there. I've talked to them. I've dealt with them. But a majority of what I've noticed is you've got a shipper, right? And under that, you got a broker. That broker gets that contract. All right? If you can deal with that broker with that contract, you're going to get top dollar. Now, then you've got other brokers that come after that number one broker and says, "Hey, that load's paying this. I'm going to outsource that and see if I can cover that load, take a little change off the top for myself." And that broker may have agents working for him or her. And that agent is on the load boards putting that load out there. And they're going to take a little bit off the top. Now, by the time the driver, catches that load, we're hauling it for $1.50. In reality, that load's paying $3. All right. The first guy that took it, he might have just took a quarter off the top. So that load's paying $275. Then another broker gets it and takes another quarter. That's $250. Another agent or two. I mean, just you get what I'm saying. The closer you can get to that direct customer, the more money you're going to make. So just because you're talking to an agent or a broker and they're saying, you know, no, this is all I can do. There's no flexibility with this load. There is that. It's not necessarily meaning that agent or that broker is trying to skim too much money. It's just they're outsourcing that load from other brokers. So they're all trying to take a piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying? So just, you got to get, it's crucial, it's critical. You got to get contacts, you got to get brokers. You need that relationship that's up close to the relationship, or you need that broker that's up close to the direct shipper. There's going to be less irons in the fire. There's going to be less hands in that pot. You ain't going to have so many people taking a piece of that pie. So that's some smart thinking for you right there, just to let you know. But with that being said, I came out bare bones, started from scratch to build my network of brokers, to build my network of relationships, because I have flexibility. Now, if I had known this is what I've done. I would have took my ass over to Landstar, signed up. I already got approved through Landstar. But I would have went on through with it. I'd have got in Landstar's BCO program, or whatever they call it, and I would have just spent a year or so running for them. And while I'm running for them, I'm going to pick me a lane that I like to run. And I like going West Coast, East Coast, so I like long. It makes more sense to me to run long. It's less paperwork, less doors you got to bump. It's less time you're racing against the clock. You know, you can drive all day, pull over, sleep, get up, do it again. 3 and 4 days versus rushing against that clock to make your delivery by 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's less stressful for me. It makes more sense for me to do that. And that's why I like doing that. I like easy money. So I would have got in there and I would have got me some contacts, because I can see what agents are paying the most. And I would have found the agents that's paying the most, and I would start working with them. I'd get to know them on a first name basis, just like my guy Mitch at C.H. Robinson. I call him, and he answers the phone. He's like, "Hey, Sammy, what's up?" I'm like, "Shit, man, just chilling. What you got?" Anyway, I'd get on that first name basis. I would establish a relationship with them, and they would know that I don't play. They would know that I get the load there. You know, I don't have issues. I'm a 700-mile-a-day guy. I'm going to get the load there in this amount of time, and I'm going to back up what I talk. And after I run with him a couple of months, 6 months to a year, he's going to know he can deal with me because I'm about my business. I'm not out here to play. He'd know, just like I'm telling you guys, I don't come out here to play. I don't hang out. I don't stop in Vegas. I don't stop at the beach. I don't stop at all these tourist attractions. Because the faster I get out, the faster I get back, and that's more time at home. See, I don't come out here to play. See, my broker is going to know that about me. They're going to know I come out here because I mean business. I plan my work and I work my plan. Now, 6 months to a year later, I've got brokers. I've got a handful of them, maybe 5, maybe 10. See, I know these guys personal on a first name basis. I got the cell phone numbers, I got the emails. I might be friends with them on Facebook. Anyway, we're going to have established relationships. We're going to have connections. Now I'm going to set out and I'm going to get my authority. Because once I get my authority, guess what? I can still work with those same damn agents. And I'm not flopping around trying to, figure out the puzzle on the fly. Like I'm doing now, like I've been doing. I mean, I've got some good contacts so far. I'm working pretty good at it, which I'm a people person. I said in videos earlier, I like to talk. I don't really like to talk. I'm really an introvert. But what I like to do is I like meeting new people. So I mesh well with people. And hadn't read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I highly recommend it. Because it shows you how to deal with people. And you really need that key. You need that as an edge. You need an edge when doing business for yourself. And I will drop that nugget right there. Read the book. There's a YouTube video, an audio on it on YouTube. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Listen to that book, man. I mean, it might be a couple hours long. It's been a while since I've listened to it, and hell, even longer since I've read it. But go over that book. You could damn finish that by the end of the day, into the driving shift. If you're mid-shift right now, you could listen to it going down the road. Listen to that audio book. You know, feed your mind. It will change the way you think. When you change the way you think, it'll change your actions. If you change your actions, you change your results. So, anyway, that's what I'd do. I would establish myself at Landstar. I'd run 6 months to a year, establish some connections. Then I would set out, do like I'm doing now, have my own authority. But doing so, I'm going to already have connections. I'm going to have ties. I'm going to have relationships. And I'm going to have established relationships with these guys. They know that I'm just stepped out on my own. But you know what? I'm not some new company. I'm not a new carrier. I'm not a new EIN coming across the screen. They're going to say, oh, that's Sammy. Yeah, man. You're on your own. All right, we're going to make some money, dog. You're unlimited now. Let's run this. See, that's what I would do different if I was to do it. If I had to do it again, that's what I'd do. Other than that, I wouldn't change nothing. With that being said, I'm gonna keep on going. I've got some good connections now, and another month it's gonna get better. Another month after that, it's gonna get better, and then I'm just gonna come to a ratio. I'm gonna keep the best ones. The closer to the top, the closer you can get to the shipper, the more money you're gonna make out here. So anyway, I hope this helps and shed some light, give you a little insight. And oh yeah, I had somebody ask me the other day, what's that? What kind of shit you got in the back of your sleeper? See if I can get that back there. So right there, that's my printer. My printer's too big. It's too big, so I had to craft up. I mean, make something to hold my printer. It's too big for my shelves, you know. So that's what I did. For anybody else wondering, I had somebody message me about that about 2 weeks ago, and then had somebody ask me about it the other day. And anyway, guys, till that next video, my next video, I plan on running numbers with you guys and showing you how to minimize your expenses, maximize your profits, lower your monthly obligation, and raise your home time up, lower your work time down, where you ain't got to spend 3-4 weeks out here to try to make ends meet. And also give you a lot of leverage on you won't be so backed against the wall on taking shit loads. But hold on, man, I got to merge over here. A big old load, or big old truck I just went around. Big load, big oversized. Anyway, guys, we'll talk to you in that video. See you, bye.